Vicky Fontaine, Joan Nelson, here we go.
Let's get to it. Touch of gloves.
Inside leg kick from Nelson.
Now, you notice we're back to advanced rule set here. No shin guards, which means these ladies will be allowed to ground and pound the head. As per usual, I'm immediately taken by the physique of Victoria Fontaine. Vicky's she's jacked, for lack of a better word.
She is yoked.
The size of her legs.
Exactly. For 130 pounds, she's got enormous legs.
That outside low kick had some snap on it from Nelson.
Instant action leads to the clinch in the fence.
Yeah, now, I will make a disagreement with many commentators. They say the loud kicks don't hurt. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do.
Yeah. And whether they do or not, it's what the judges hear. It's what the judges see.
You're right. The big moments do definitely weigh the judges a little bit.
Absolutely. Impact.
Now, we see Joan enjoying one underhook, one overhook here. But I like how Victoria used that underhook to turn off the cage.
Beautiful takedown by Joan Nelson here.
Absolutely gorgeous hip toss.
And she's looking immediately to go to the crucifix position where now she can strike.
Raining down strikes here on the ground.
Vicky's going to have to do something here. This one ain't going to last long. And there it is.
Very good moment of explosion.
Beautiful transitions here.
And the way that she just attacked that post arm
now
to
Fontaine's
lock up
on
the top position.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. High-level stuff, James.
Exactly. What she really did is she created a moment of scramble so well. And a lot of jiu-jitsu escapes come down to that, making your opponent react for a moment and then taking advantage of those reactions. So a great combination of creating action and then reacting by Victoria Fontaine. Now we see Victoria has the underhook with the right arm. That's why she's circling the direction she is, trying to flatten Joan out and get past that opening in the guard. That's also why Joan was not able to get up there, because that door is locked right now. Because of where Joan has her arm wrapped over the arm of Victoria Fontaine rather than under, Victoria was able to flatten her once again.
And great head control from Vicky there when Joan's trying to make her way up and just catches a forearm straight to the face, right back into the mat.
Exactly. Now Joan has that door unlocked. Now she can scoot her hips out to that open side, right to the center of the cage there, and she can start to get up. Now Vicky's recognizing that, and she's going for some kind of head control. I can't quite see the arm positioning from either our seated position or the camera there. Okay, so she just got a collar tie on the head, trying to flatten Joan back out. Victoria's going to want it. Yeah, use that overhook as much as you can.
Big hammer fist.
And again, we're looking for moments of explosion. If we're Joan Nelson, create the moment of explosion. Get Victoria there. Get Victoria to react a little bit, and then when she reacts, you got to go.
And Vicky's doing a great job right now just being an irritant, keeping that forearm on the face of Joan Nelson, messing with her breathing, messing with her ability to posture up, to get out of this position. Really good stuff from Vicky here.
Oh, beautiful sweep. She went through deep half guard, did Joan Nelson, to use that to escape kind of out the back door.
What a tough round to score.
Absolutely. That was one of those rounds where I felt like it needed a stopwatch at each end. Like Victoria was winning for this long, and Joan was winning for this long.
Right.
Because I don't know whose clock was longer.
What a round.
And let's take a look at this crucifix position from Joan Nelson here. Probably the most impactful moment of the first round here. Just getting damage off, dominant position. But look at that. Vicky doesn't settle for it. Manages to scoot out the back door, reverse position, winds up on top.
Now, what doesn't do Victoria favors in terms of what the judges see is she's got that big bun of hair. So the big bun of hair, think of Clay Guida. Every time Clay Guida gets touched with a punch, his hair flies. It makes him look like every punch is a big one, even if they're only hitting hair. Right. So who knows how many...
As we said before, it's optics. It matters.
Who knows how many of those punches landed versus how many of them may have hit hair or just made Victoria move a little bit. But to the judges and to the people watching, it looks like she's really getting hammered there.
Like we spoke of in the pre-fight, Victoria Fontaine's cardio looks tremendous so far.
Absolutely.
Does not look rattled one bit.
No, she just competed in a grueling round and looks like she's ready to run a marathon right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we go, round 2 underway.
Both ladies just so calm and composed.
A little more patience to start the second round here.
Definitely.
One thing I'm noting here, Joan is getting a reaction out of that rear leg kick. Anytime she pumps that right hip forward, Vicky's kind of dropping that left hand.
Nice front kick.
Now, obviously, Victoria landed a big leg kick of her own.
Nice one, too.
Based on Victoria's left hand movements and the fact that she's throwing leg kicks of her own, I'd imagine that big leg kick Joan landed in the first round actually hurt Victoria.
Yeah. And Joan's looking a little wild with the punches here. She's going to have to rein it in a little bit. That shovel hook was about a mile off, but she's having a little bit of trouble closing distance, it looks like. But you know what? Vicky is also having some trouble getting into the pocket there.
I think that speaks to the athletic base of Victoria. Her legs are so big and so strong and explosive. She's able to get in and out so quickly. She's really managing the space well.
Oh, did you check the leg kick there from Nelson?
Big reaction from Nelson there. I tell you, you know that those ones are starting to bother her.
Yeah, at a certain point, they will start to add up, and that leg will, start to go.
I was telling you guys a story yesterday. I had one of the 12.
Oh, beautiful right.
I had one of the 12-year-olds in my class demonstrate a leg kick on me. My leg still hurts today. Thanks, Daniel. And we see how Victoria's got the double underhooks, and that's what she's using to kind of muscle Joan around here.
I was going to say, it seems like she's just using pure strength more than anything else to reverse these clinch positions.
Well, what Joan's doing so well is she's dropping her head and shoulders under the head of Victoria, making it difficult for Victoria to really utilize those underhooks to the maximum of their capabilities. Now, again, if you're Victoria, you want that arm in there a little deeper. You want your shoulder below the armpit. That's what's going to create the angle that you want if you're Victoria. Now,
well, looks like Vicky thought about a little head and arm throw there, but wasn't there.
Exactly. But again, that speaks to the head position of Joan. You see the way Joan has her head and shoulders under the head of Victoria. That's what's keeping Victoria not only on the cage, but unable to mount much wrestling offense from here. Now that the heads are even, now Victoria can start to work a little bit. But you can see the way that Joan has got that leg behind, making it very difficult for Victoria to pop that hip and that shoulder under the left arm of Joan.
She's looking for that outside trip there, but Vicky defending well.
To do that, you would need the near side underhook. You would need, or at least some way to shut down that post. And she doesn't have that arm control well enough to make that happen, does Joan. On this side, we're in a different story. If she gets that leg outside Joan, she might be able to get the trip back towards the center of the cage. Now, Victoria wise to that. You saw she kind of pummeled her leg back outside.
Yep.
Circled it back out. Very smart.
Again, I think we're seeing fight IQ well beyond the experience of both of these women tonight.
Exactly. Well, I mean, Victoria did say that. She goes, between my first and second fight, I felt like I had such a greater fight IQ. And from her 2 experiences with us here in Flex, I'm seeing a tremendous amount of growth. And she debuted with us back in April. So 3 months. Her last fight was consistent.
Some of those transitional grappling sequences, that's stuff that you see from pros, not amateurs with 2 fights.
Yeah. Well, her last fight was contested very heavily in the clinch with a Paulo Zarco. So you can see she learned that experience, and she obviously put work into that. Now we're seeing Coach Paul Carnicella giving me a lot of gestures that read striking. So I'm going to imagine Victoria's going to try to stay out of the clinch and throw some hands. She was successful when she threw her hands. So if she can maintain the space, she will certainly be able to do that more so. I'd imagine, based on the gestures I'm seeing from Joan's coach, we're going to see a more grappling-heavy approach. So, nice dichotomy there. We'll see how it works.
Absolutely. And to James's point, that big right hand we just saw on the replay from Vicky in round 2 was probably the best strike of the fight for either fighter.
And again, that was another one of those rounds where it's like, stopwatch, any chance. Who won more of the seconds?
All right, 3rd round underway here.
This is anybody's fight, gentlemen.
I would agree with you. If we have another round that's very much like the first 2, you're going to have some aggravated fans no matter who wins.
Yeah, this one's got split decision written all over it.
Great takedown defense by Joan Nelson. I love the hips. I love the head control. Now, Vicky Fontaine's got that single leg. She mentioned she was working on chaining her wrestling together. It's funny. She said to me specifically, it's not just single legs. It's single leg to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing.
Right, she's just like you said. It looks like she went single leg to high crotch here.
For the high crotch, she'd need her feet in a slightly different position. She's hanging on to that single leg a little longer than I'd like her to.
Yep. Takedown from Fontaine.
She said, what was that, Sensei James?
That's the 3rd time tonight that somebody making me my words. But did you see the hip adjustment there? The way she turned her hips back in. She had her hips open, and then she closed them. Right? That's what made the difference there. As soon as Vicky Fontaine was able to get belly button to hip, that's what turned that high crotch into the high amplitude takedown it was.
Now, James, what do you think Vicky has to do here to open up some submissions?
So now, if you're Vicky, we got to get past this half guard. We have to use the left foot, the one that's on that black logo on the cage there, use that to interfere with the feet. Like, you see she's trying to do that a little bit? And use that to pass the guard of Joan. Now, if you're Joan, again, closed guard isn't necessarily going to do it for you here. We're going to need whatever we need to create a scramble, to create a sweep, or to create a submission. Now, Victoria, she seems confident that she's up by rounds, the way she's kind of killing clock here. But I'd like to see her being a little more assertive passing this guard. You can see the way Joan's foot is just kind of in the bottom there. Joan's right leg, that is. So if you're Victoria, you want to get past that right leg, because then those underhooks that she's enjoying, that right arm position, is going to open up many, many submissions. Ooh, ghost escape attempt from Joan Nelson there. She's got a Darth choke there if she wants it. I actually showed it to my jiu-jitsu class this morning, as a matter of fact.
Fontaine looking for the back here.
Vicky seems to be riding a little high, but her build is so long.
Tried to get the hook in there, but great job from Nelson to tripod, get back to her feet. Now she's got to shake Vicky off of her.
Just great awareness by Joan Nelson. Feeling the foot coming on and realizing, nope, can't sit here. And again, Victoria riding the body lock so well. She's got great head position.
She does.
I'd like to see her hands a little closer to the hips before she attempts that lift. We know she's very physically strong, but if she sinks herself a little lower, she's going to have more success out of that threat. Just like hip position made the difference in her takedown earlier in the round, hip position will make the difference on that takedown attempt as well.
At what point does Nelson start to fatigue in this position?
Oh.
Apparently she doesn't.
Yeah, apparently not, because what a beautiful head and arm throw.
Man, apparently, Charlie, it was your turn to eat words, because
someone's got to get it.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, that was an interesting sequence for me, because I'm stuck here thinking, I wonder what happens if Vicky focuses a little bit more on damage and a little bit less on position, right? That's kind of the game these fighters are always playing, where how many risks do you really want to take? And let's take a look at this last takedown from Vicky Fontaine here. Oh, excuse me, from Joan Nelson here. That beautiful head and arm throw at the rim.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to a judges scorecard for our decision. All 3 judges score contest 29-28 with your winner by unanimous decision, Victoria Fontaine!
AP hit us with the little stutter step there.
I liked it. I love when it's a decision like that and a really closely contested fight, and he adds to the drama like that. That was a great moment.
Absolutely. Great work, AP.